Jesus again entered the synagogue, and a man was there who had a withered hand. And they watched him, to see whether he would heal him on the Sabbath, so that they might accuse him. He said to the man who had the withered hand, "Come here." Then he said to them, "Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to kill?" But they were silent. He looked around at them with anger, grieved at their hardness of heart, and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was restored. Immediately, the Pharisees went out and held counsel with the Herodians who were against him, on how to destroy him. Jesus withdrew with his disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee, Judea, Jerusalem, Idumea, beyond the Jordan, and from about Tyre and Sidon, after hearing all that he did, came to him and followed. He told his disciples to have a boat ready for him because of the crowd, so that they would not crush him. This was because he had healed many, and all who had diseases would press upon him to touch him. And whenever the unclean spirits saw him, they fell down before him and cried out, "You are the Son of God." But he strictly ordered them not to make him known. He went up on the mountain and called to him those he wanted. Then they came to him. So, he appointed 12 to be with him, and to be sent out to preach and have authority to cast out demons. Simon, whom he surnamed Peter. James the son of Zebedee, and John the brother of James, whom he surnamed Boanerges, that is, sons of thunder. Andrew, Philip, and Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Cananean, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. Then he went home. Again, the crowd came together, so that they could not even eat. When his family heard it, they went out to grab him, for people were saying, "He is mad." And the scribes who came down from Jerusalem said, "He is possessed by Beelzebul, and by the prince of demons he casts out the demons." Then he called them to him, and said to them in parables, "How can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. And if Satan has risen up against himself and is divided, then he cannot stand, but is coming to an end. For no one can enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods, unless he first binds the strong man, then he can plunder his house. Truly, I say to you, all the sins of people will be forgiven, and whatever they might blaspheme, but whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit never has forgiveness, but is guilty of an eternal sin, for they had said, He has an unclean spirit. His mother and his brothers came. Standing outside, they sent to him and called him. A crowd was sitting about him, and they said to him, "Your mother and your brothers are outside, asking for you." He replied, "Who are my mother and my brothers?" Looking around at those who sat with him, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. Whoever does the will of God is my brother, and sister, and mother."